All right. Now we're ready. All right. What do you think? Article. Yeah. All right. Another shot of water here. In about 20 minutes. And we're good. All right. This is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. It's a little new thing I'm calling AM Sports Bite. Wake up in the morning, we talk a little sports and get on with the rest of our day. It's a good start for me because nothing more important than rapping about sports, especially when you get some interaction with you great people out there. Um, I didn't think about this earlier, but I've been doing this orange background for a while now, and it kind of fits with the sun coming up in the morning. Um, so I'm going to keep this background for a while. But seriously, uh, I like to apologize ahead of time because I got all these allergies going on. You know, it's a heavy pollen season down here, and what it is, you got the trees making love, man, and it's making me cry. Not because I'm so enamored with the trees um, procreating, along with the idea of Valentine's Day coming up. But these allergies and the pollen put something on me, so it caused me to do a lot of sniffling and things like that. So I apologize. Don't have a whole lot of time, but yesterday, just to recap, I had mentioned the fact that Jalen Hurts, the way he won the Super Bowl, it kind of opened the door for running quarterbacks. So, being that the league is copycat, you can expect to see more running quarterbacks have an opportunity in the league. Kind of like a Jalen Milroe who was on the shelf. People wanted him to change positions, but he's adamant that he didn't want to do that. Well, when Hurts won the Super Bowl, it kind of gave him a little extra incentive to stay at the quarterback position. And I had said, because of Hurts' win, it would give Milroe another opportunity because, of course, the league is a copycat league. Well, I read an article yesterday afternoon that kind of said the same kind of things I was talking about, except they were talking about the running back, Ashton Jeanty, out of Boise State. Up until now, the talk has been that he would go to a team like Chicago because Chicago can use that running back to go with the quarterback they have in Caleb Williams and build around that young nucleus. But when Hurts won the Super Bowl and the Eagles showed you how you could put pressure on a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, they start to have a different tune now. Instead of getting a running back like Jeanty, why not start with the defensive core to go get you a front four that can get after the quarterback, much in the way that Philadelphia is doing. But I don't know why there's sudden revelations about this front four. But if you have any true understanding of football, then you know the actual football team is in the trenches. If you can't get after that quarterback, if you can't block and run the football, you can't protect your quarterback, then you can't play. And that was pretty evident in the Super Bowl. As great as Mahomes has been, and I don't care if he's got all NFL Hall of Fame wide receiver core that's playing for, if they can't get off the ball because the defense has put so much pressure on you, you got a problem. And that was illustrated quite clearly. So teams like the Bears, instead of trying to go offense and build that way, you have kind of a reverse thought now where people want to start to rebuild their defenses. Well, that is a great idea, but you got to understand that this is the modern era, and nobody really wants to see the quarterback get beat up like that. So the more that a guy like Mahomes gets beat up in the Super Bowl, the more the league is going to start changing the rules around to protect guys like Mahomes. This is why the idea of the running game and a strong defensive front kind of went away. But when the Eagles turned things back, now everybody's looking at it different. But that's going to change again because you have these running quarterbacks. You don't have that traditional drop back pass anymore. So nobody's going to feel sorry for a running quarterback when he comes around the corner and gets clocked. So that is a good thing for the state of the game. Um, and I think that it was just timely for the fact that I had just said that Hurts had made it better for running quarterbacks. And now you have a situation where you have the defensive lineman getting out to that quarterback is now back in vogue. So that'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. But the thing I want to talk about the most, though, is Travis Kelce. He just wrapped up his 12th season with the Chiefs, and he didn't do very well this year. He had some injuries, and during the postseason, he didn't produce very much. And they kind of put the clamps on him in the Super Bowl. So now he has thoughts of retirement. His brother retired after they lost the Super Bowl the first time against the Chiefs, and he's been out of the league now, 2 years? And maybe his brother's thinking about joining him. They got their little podcast show. They seem to be doing pretty well with that. But the thing is, I don't think if you got enough playing in you that you will want to walk off after losing the Super Bowl. But he has told the Chiefs that he's going to sit back and think about whether he can get himself back in the groove to come back to play another season. Well, I think because he lost the Super Bowl, I'll expect to see him back. Mahomes is going to be in his ear, and he's going to talk him into playing. And Chiefs, if you don't play, they're going to look mighty different. But I think the loss of a Kelce is not as catastrophic as the loss of a Tyreek Hill. You got a guy like Andy Reid, he's going to come up with ways, regardless of what personnel he has, to be effective on offense. But if you got a Kelce and other creative ways to evolve with the Chiefs offensively, then that would make for some good football out there in KC still. But I think he's going to come back. But if he didn't come back, what would the NFL do if there's no Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift? The league, ever since this couple has been announced, they took full advantage of it because, of course, she has a huge following. It's got nothing to do with football, but the fact that she's got followers, those people will watch these games or show some interest in the NFL strictly because of her. And they said that the effect she had last year was millions. So this is why they pan up in the box and show her jumping up and down, clapping and all of that. It's because of her following. It's the same kind of thing as advertising. If you got eyes on you, or you can get eyes on a certain product, advertisers are going to pay for it. And that's basically what the NFL was doing, was using her as advertisement to the league, to people that really didn't have a whole lot of interest in NFL football. And it was great. But the question is, if Kelce retires, what are they going to do next? Some people are devastated by the fact that they can't turn on the TV and see Taylor Swift and talking about her and the effect that she has. But I'm kind of like on that particular subject, not that she should be booed. I don't think nobody should be booed, especially if it doesn't have any connection with the wins and losses of the game. But I understand the viewpoint of the people who are booing her. By that, I mean, she don't have a damn thing to do with football. Why are we wasting so much time talking about her? Why we keep pandering to her? She's got nothing to do with the game. That's my viewpoint. So if the league can take advantage of it, great. but it's got nothing to do with me. All I want to do is see football, and don't be flashing me constantly about somebody that has nothing to do with the game. That's my viewpoint. So the people that really disdain that idea, they're the ones that were born unjustified because it's got nothing to do with them. But I think they just all got tired of it, and they think that it played effect into some of the calls that Kansas City was getting, and the influence that she had on the league was having people kind of like turn against it a little bit. But if she goes away, the league will come up with some other marketing ploy, so they won't be hurt at all by it. But I guess it was a great run, right? All right. Okay. I got Devon Calhoun said as easy it was for them to make it to the Super Bowl, I don't think it's going to give up that easy. Or you think it was easy? No, I don't think it was easy that they got to the Super Bowl. I think you got to get some breaks along the way. You have to be good, but you also have to be lucky. They got a couple calls that kind of helped them along there, but they still had to make the plays down the line. And matchups make all the difference in any sport. And it's not a guarantee that they're going to be able to get back. I'm thinking he's going to come back because you don't want to go out a loser. Let's look at John Elway. He won a Super Bowl. He had a good team coming back. He had a chance to do it again. He did that. He caught hell doing it, but he was able to get through it. And once that was over, he won. He went out on a winning note. I think Peyton Manning did the same thing. So if you can go out like that, fine. So having said that, I think that Kelce, had they won the Super Bowl for the third straight time, hey, there's nothing else for him to do but to retire. Go on off and marry Taylor Swift. And that's what the rumor is, that they're going to get engaged. He'll be a fool not to with all the connections she's got. He's already probably should be set for life, but he'd definitely be set for life if we get somebody like that. But all that sideline stuff, again, it's got nothing to do with the game. And for purists like myself, we kind of tired of all that crap. So congratulations to them. The fact that they got the eyes on them like that, the NFL, all that, use all that to the perfection, and it worked out for everybody involved. But for the purists like myself, we could care less. So she can go ahead on, and anybody else that they bring out there to try to do the same effect, we don't care about that. We just want to see football, man. To watch the Super Bowl halftime or the pregame, or no, you just tell me what time they're kicking it off, and I'll be there. That's just my point. So, put the poll question up. Do you think that Travis Kelce will retire? So far, only one vote. I believe Mr. Calhoun. I'm going to say that's probably Mr. Calhoun. He said no, and I kind of agree that he's going to retire, not going to retire, and he's going to come back and he's going to try to have a great season. He's going to have a quarterback, and if you know, it's my understanding that Tyreek Hill is going to be a free agent. So what would happen if they were to get Tyreek Hill back? You got Xavier Worthy that's developing. The Chiefs could be just as explosive as they were when they had Hill. You know, he could take the top off of defense on one side, then you put Worthy on the other side who could take the top off the defense and could catch across the middle and all that. And then you got Travis Kelce down the middle. Who's going to stop that? So what the Chiefs will need to do if they want to get back to the Super Bowl, they will have to shore up that offensive line so they could block a team like the Eagles. But if Mahomes got time to throw and he got Worthy and a Tyreek Hill out there, Kansas City scoring 35 a game, and the defense is good enough to put the clamps on anybody. Now, as well as the Eagles played, the defense of the Chiefs also played pretty well. It's this Chiefs offense that put that defense into a bad situation. They had the pick six, and another pick, and they got the ball inside the 25. You can't win championships like that, man. And Reed knows that. So he's going to fix that offensive line. But if I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm getting on the phone. I'm calling up Tyreek Hill, man. Say, look here, man. We got this guy Worthy that's he's going to pan out. And with his speed on one side, if you came back, we'll talk Kelce into coming back. Hey, man, the Chiefs going to be dangerous, man. So keep an eye on that. So Team Wahid said the Chiefs are over. They are old and have no heart. Go Birds. So I disagree with that. Anybody can win when you get 3, 4 turnovers. What are you going to do when the other team don't turn the ball over? You got to play. You got to understand and then throw the ball just like these quarterbacks I've been telling you about. So you won this time, but that doesn't mean it's always going to go that way. What the Chiefs need to do is to fix that offensive line to block a team like Philadelphia, because other teams are going to start building up their defensive lines to do the same thing. So if the Chiefs want to get better, that's what they're going to have to fix. But even with the same team that they have now, if they can get Tyreek Hill to come back, they're going to be dangerous. And I don't know if Philadelphia, anybody else could deal with that, because what you're going to do is come up with a quick passing game, and then that's how you beat a team like Philadelphia and their defense. Now, if you recall, Mr. Wahid, you and your Birds, people said the same thing after they lost to Tampa Bay. You come right back and did what? 1-2, and they threatened for a 3. And they're going to be back next year. But I'm a Steeler, so I'm not touting that they horn. I hope they don't get Tyreek Hill, because Pittsburgh, they got their own issues. And I know they wouldn't be able to stop that, because they still stuck in old style of play. And as long as you stick in that old style of play, other teams are going to know where you are. This is why Tomlin is saying they need to revamp. And if he wants to keep his job, he has no choice but to revamp. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. All right, 50-50 on whether Kelce will retire. Like I said, I don't think he will, because nobody wants to go out after getting whipped like that. Unless you just are physically unable to do it, then I can see why you wouldn't want to come back. But with his current health situation, had they won that game, yeah, he probably would have retired. And that would have hurt the league a little bit image-wise, because they want to have that following from the Swifties anymore. But let's not forget, even the worst NFL franchise is making a whole lot of money. So losing Taylor Swift wouldn't mean a whole lot. Now, going back to the Bears, I told you that now that the Eagles have showed everybody that you can get to a quarterback like Mahomes, the thought of getting a running back like Jinty is kind of put on the back burner. So now they're looking around trying to find a way to build up that defensive line so they could put pressure on the other team's quarterback. And speaking of the Bears, and I missed this, doing all the Super Bowl hype and all, their owner, George Halla's daughter, Virginia McCaskey, she died right before the Super Bowl. I kind of missed that. Lady was almost 100 years old. Lived a long life like her dad did. And so I have to mention that. Got to give her propers. She owned the team a long time after her dad left it to her. So the Bears are in great shape. But like I say, all these teams in March, I believe, when the league whacks up all their money, each team gets well over $300 million in addition to everything else that they made in apparel and everything else. This is revenue sharing from the games. If you don't know the revenue sharing model that they have, you can have 10,000 people show up at a Jaguar game, but you might have a sellout in Atlanta. All these ticket prices and ticket sales, they go into a pot and they divide it all up throughout the league once the year is over with. So attendance doesn't really hurt a team when people don't show up. Yes, it makes it better if you can fill up and everybody else can fill up, because now everybody gets richer. But the Jaguars, if they had 10,000 people show up, these people are charging $20 for a bottle of beer that's not much bigger than that. You got to be really damn wanting a beer to pay $20 for it, but they be sucking them up like it's water, and I don't understand that. Not a big drinker, never been, never will be, but if I was, I'm not paying $20 for a beer. I don't give a damn. I'll wait till I get home before I start fooling with that. All right, nobody's talking to me today, but I think the Bears, despite the fact that everybody now wants a front four like Philadelphia, I think what they're going to do, they're going to pick that running back, GT, if he's there. Now, you'd be a fool not to, and then try to build up your front four through free agency. That's probably the best way to do it anyway, because these young kids, they're not guaranteed to pan out in the NFL. So why not go ahead and get somebody that's already got some experience. They kind of have the same model in college now. High school recruits, that's not as popular anymore because people are now recruiting from the transfer portal. Same thing in NFL. It's the best way to get a player that you know that can play. All you got to do is win them over to your side. And I think that's what the Bears are going to do. But they have to pick up somebody in the draft. And I think if Jinchi is there, they're going to have to take him. So we'll see. But yep, I just want to come on and talk a little bit about this Travis Kelce thing. The question is, will he retire? I don't think he's going to retire. And when he comes back next year, you hear more of that Taylor Swift stuff. But for the most part, for them to be constantly flashing to her as if she got some heavy influence on the game, I got a problem with that. But to the point of booing her, absolutely not, because it's great marketing strategy by the NFL. Her fans are going to look at the game just because they might get a glimpse of seeing her. That's another thing, this star thing. You bend over backwards to get a glimpse of some so-called star. I mean, what if you get 10 minutes of a glimpse? What is that going to do for you? Nothing. But that's the way people are. So my thing is, she'll be back next year, and that'll probably be it for Kelce. But like I say, the bigger thing is for the Chiefs, they need to go get offensive line fixed, and they need to go and call Tyreek Hill, get him to come on back, man. Because if they do with Kelce, Worthy, and Tyreek Hill, now you got another problem with the Chiefs, and they're not done yet. So I got to get out of here, man. Got to go to work, and got some other things I want to talk baseball-wise, especially on the lower levels, but I can't get into it right now. So I appreciate you guys chiming in with me. Please like and subscribe, and you catch me early in the morning, and I come back on with some other topics later on this afternoon. So until then, wherever you are in the world, you have a great day. And again, I appreciate you stopping in, checking me out. This is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. Until next time, I'm out. Check this poll one more time. Yeah, we're still 50-50. All right, have a great day. Do, do, do.